Welcome back to our podcast.
Is This How You Mom?
My name's Haley.
My name's Jessica.
And this is episode number 2.
Yay!
I got over here, it's now 1:30. I got over here maybe like an hour and a half ago, and we've been running today.
That's why I'm out of breath.
Yeah. We got done taking some pics for our Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Later, we're going to do some videos with the babies.
Some promo stuff.
Yeah. Getting stuff for our
content.
Instagram page, because we were like, we need to have posts. So, we've been doing that. Now, we
just sat down to record.
And I'm like, damn, can I take a breath?
I know. And I was just telling her, I was like, hey, no rushing, but like my son goes down at 2.
And it's 1:30.
Yeah, it's 1:30 and we're recording in his room. Long story on that. But so, yeah, we have some recording to get done.
But last episode, we talked about us and how we met, how we became friends in the start of this podcast. And so now we want to talk about how the babies became babies.
Yes. How we found out we were pregnant, how we told each other we were pregnant. Telling family members, I guess, that'd be fun too.
Yeah.
Just a little
and
touch
then
on it. But
I guess we could talk about our pregnancy a little bit too.
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
how we
pregnancy
felt.
was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of how we felt talk today, because God, I felt a lot. I felt a lot in those 9 months.
And it's so crazy because before like coming over here, I was trying to, because I feel like I was pregnant I don't remember being pregnant.
Right. I remember being pregnant and it was like, oh my gosh, am I never not going to be pregnant anymore? And then now I'm like, oh, our babies are almost 8 months old.
Yeah. Like I can't remember.
They're almost the age. They're coming up on the length of pregnancy, which is crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, we have to do the cute little like 9 months in, 9 months out.
Okay. Well,
But
TikTok's getting banned, so.
No, Logan said that was fake news.
Okay. Well, we'll see. If anything, Instagram Reels. We'll do that.
But then I was thinking about it, and I was like, I really don't remember being pregnant. And I look back at my pregnancy pictures, and it weirds me out.
Yeah.
I'm like,
when I watch videos of him like moving, I'm like, oh my gosh, you were in there.
Yes.
And now you're out, and you're just here.
So sad.
Okay, so let's start.
Yeah.
I found out I was pregnant on September 14th. If you are ever taking a pregnancy test, I highly recommend. What?
Okay, I guess I know my date too.
Yes, I specifically know it because we found out we were pregnant on September 14th, and then September 15th, we went out for Haley's husband, Logan's birthday. And I was luckily doing 75 hard, so me not drinking wasn't like a weird thing. But we didn't tell anyone because we had just found out, so we were keeping it a little bit on the wraps.
I remember that. I didn't think it was.
Yeah, no, it wasn't weird, and like it was 75 hard. So, which is funny because I actually had a friend ask me if I was pregnant. And are you starting 75 because you're pregnant? I was like, no, girl, I'm just starting 75 hard. Anyway, different story. So September 14th, if you are taking a pregnancy test or trying to get pregnant, not trying, but you're just going to take a test just in case, take a digital. So I took a line test, and my husband was in the shower, and I take the line test because I was 3 or 4 days late, and I would get in the shower, and when the water would hit my boobs, I was like, why does this hurt so bad? But I've always had a regular period, so I didn't think anything of that. So I take the test on a Wednesday, negative. Take a test on that Thursday, the 14th, and I see the faintest 2 lines, because you have your control line and then you have your line. I didn't take a positive one. I took if it's a straight up and down line. Too. Yeah. So it was a straight up and down line, so freaking faint. And I held it up to the light, and I was like, I swear I see it. I showed Jarrett. He's like, no, there is no line there. Jessica, I'm looking right at it. I don't see a line. And I was like, all right, okay.
But then again, because we, as women, I feel like even if I took a test today, 100% no way that I'm pregnant. I would, eyes
you
would
get line eyes.
Yes.
You get line eyes. And then I also told him, because, we've been together for so long, we've had some scares. And I told him, Jarrett, I have taken these before, and I have never felt this instinct when I took it. So whatever.
I guess you never told me about your boobs hurting.
Yeah, I got in the shower and the water hit my boobs and I was like, ow. Like that's
like
this
the
is weird. No,
or
like they
the
were
pressure?
sensitive.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
the pressure of the water hitting. So then I had the 2-pack. So then I whip out the digital one. And of course I don't have to pee now. So I chug water. I wait 30 minutes. I take the test and something in me was like, just record yourself taking it.
Wait, did y'all already have the digital ones?
Yeah, so I bought no. I bought a pack and it came with a line and a digital, and I was like, if I'm not pregnant, I don't want to ruin this digital one. Like, I need to save the digital.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, and also backstory: we weren't not trying, but we weren't trying.
Yeah,
like we knew the risk.
Something could happen. Yeah,
not even risk. We knew that hey, you could get pregnant. So I go and I take the digital and I wait, and I was like, just record it. So I record myself and. The feeling, I think about this all the time because with my second pregnancy, of course, I'm going to be excited. But the feeling you get, which we do have different feelings, but that feeling of that first positive, I'll never get back again.
Yeah.
And it was such a surreal, like, I took the little package off because I covered it with the pregnancy package. That bitch said pregnant. And I was like, Jarrett. I just shouted his name. And he's half asleep in bed. And he goes, no. Is
that the one where you videoed?
Yeah, that's the video one where I'm literally looking at the test and I just say Jarrett's name. I was like, this is positive. This says freaking positive right now. And I started bawling out of excitement. Jarrett comes in there. He looks at the test. And I said it. I cut the video off, but I was like, I effing told you it was positive because he didn't believe me. And I'm crying. And he was like, are we happy? And I was like, I'm excited. I'm just so overwhelmed because I was told from like I think 18 or 19 when I started going to my gynecologist, she was like, you're probably gonna have a hard time getting pregnant, your periods are really irregular, you're probably not ovulating.
Well, and wasn't it something with your uterus? Was it tilted? Do you have a tilted uterus?
That's not me. That's your other friend.
Oh, well, someone has a tilted uterus.
No, not my uterus. It's pretty straight, I think. But so she had just kind of warned me that I might have trouble getting pregnant. So the fact that we were not being mindful for 2 months and then I got pregnant.
Yeah.
And so that was fun.
Well, and I feel like even people who are trying, again, you weren't not trying, but y'all weren't trying.
Yes. Like I knew.
I feel like anytime you see a positive, you're like, crap. And it's so surreal.
It's the most surreal feeling. Yeah. Of course, y'all, people listening, you've either felt it or not felt it, but it's just the craziest feeling.
Yeah.
It was the best feeling, the scariest feeling. So then, of course, Jarrett's freaking out and he goes and it's like 9:45. Walgreens closed at 10 and we lived right across from Walgreens. So he went and bought me 6 tests. He bought me 6 tests.
Damn, that's a lot of money.
But he bought 3 2-packs. And so he came.
But still a lot of money. Pregnancy tests are not cheap.
So expensive. So I took 2 more. And they all said positive. He watched it too. He literally watched it turn from blinking to positive. And we both just had that like, we're excited, of course, but you just get that pit of like, holy crap.
OMG, something's growing in me.
My life is like from that moment, and I've heard it before, where you see that positive and everything immediately changes. So true. For me specifically, when I read that positive, I immediately was like, Celsius, gone. Alcohol, gone, which 75 hard was helpful, but I mean, I was just so like, oh, okay, take care of your body even more because you're pregnant.
Do you think like after y'all took it, did you and Jarrett like talk?
So I don't really think we talked. I remember we had to go to work the next day, so we both get into bed and it's like 10:30 by now. We're laying in bed and he's watching some football game on his phone. And he looks over at me and he asked me if I was all right at first or whatever. And then we get into bed and he looks at me and he was like, I just realized this is my last football season alone. And I was like, okay.
Bitch, that would be what the fuck
I was
says.
so annoyed. I think that was him like lightening the mood. But oh my God, he was a nervous wreck.
What's it called? Comedic relief.
Yes. It's very much him. You know, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, that's cute that you can remember that.
Yes, it was crazy. And then I immediately wanted to tell so many people, but then also I was so nervous to tell anybody because it's very well known that I think it's like 1 in 4. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but 1 out of 4 first pregnancies you can miscarry. So I was very like don't want to get my hopes up, especially
Yes.
since they were already concerned. But
Yeah.
that's how I got pregnant.
Cute.
And
there
then-
was Waylon.
Then he was just growing in there.
Yeah.
And then let's get into how I told you, because your comments are funny because you didn't know.
Because that story will kind of lead into like
it's a good segue.
Yeah.
So I think I was I'm already a high anxiety person. We talked about that.
You found out September 14th.
Yep.
At that point, and then
according to my app, I was like 5 weeks. Turns out that was incorrect.
Yeah. But
so I think I was a week or 2 weeks into knowing I was pregnant, and I started bleeding quite a bit, which nothing compared to a miscarriage bleeding from what they told me, but I was bleeding, and I was still working out, so I had like completely stopped working out because I was stressed out about that. And I go to the hospital, and Jarrett's friends like share locations, and so one of his friends was just looking at his friends' locations, and he saw Jarrett was at the hospital, and so he texted Jarrett, asked if everything was okay, and Jarrett didn't know what to say.
Obviously
so he was like,
couldn't lie.
You're right. He's like, okay, so I'm at the hospital. Jess is pregnant. She's bleeding, and like we're concerned. And so the friend was like, oh my God, like congrats. I hope everything's okay. And so then I told Jarrett. Jarrett was like, well, I have to tell Logan now. And I was like, wait a second. You cannot tell Logan and I not tell Haylee, because she will actually unfriend me, like on Facebook and in real life. So no.
Probably not, but I definitely probably in my mind would be like, dang, guess I don't mean as much to her as I thought I did.
It makes you, yeah, no, you are so important to me. So I was like, I can't not tell her. So then I got pissed because he's telling Logan, and Logan has his phone, and they're getting ready to go on a cruise
We
or
were
on a flight or whatever.
No, yeah, we were going on an Alaskan cruise. We had gotten into Seattle. We had woken up in Seattle. We were going to board the cruise that day, and it was the morning. Or, yeah, it was the morning.
It was pretty early.
It was like 9 a.m., 10 a.m. our time. So, yeah. And
I was so annoyed because I'm texting her. No, he texted.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, 1, 2, 3, we both send it.
Yes.
Logan starts answering right away. Logan's ready. Logan's being a good friend.
Because
Haylee never has her phone. So I'm just sitting there waiting. Just sitting there like, oh, well, okay, she hates me. So I text her, and I was like, good news, pregnant, bad news, in the hospital. She's a nurse, so of course I was like, tell me if you think everything's okay, whatever. Yeah. So I tell her all this. I'm like going into how I found out I was pregnant, blah, blah, blah. And she responds.
I feel like we called each other, no?
Yes, I did call. Yeah, you called me.
And you were in the hospital?
Yes, we did. We FaceTimed, yeah.
Okay.
You're right. But I don't think you told me that you were late on FaceTime. You texted me that.
I texted you that.
Yeah. So we're talking about it, and then you were like, you can start.
So that segues into me. They call us, they tell us we're pregnant. And then I remember, because obviously I packed my whole bag, and I packed tampons and stuff because I was supposed to start like that week. But I wasn't late yet, but I knew like it was going to come during the cruise at some point. So I feel like I didn't tell you I was late. I told you, oh, I'm supposed to start this week, and I'm not having any. Because usually I cramp really bad. I just feel like
your body knows, like, oh, I'm probably about to start.
Yeah, and I was not cramping. I was not achy, and I was like, well, I'm supposed to start my period this week. Who knows?
But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not cramping at all.
I think you said something like, I'm like, if I don't start by a blah, blah, blah date, then I'm late.
Well, and I feel like I texted you that in the middle of our cruise because I still was not cramping. And we were not trying to the point where I guess I thought like, no, there's no way I'm pregnant, because even me being late for my period, I wasn't concerned. I was just like, well, we'll see what happens. And so I even texted her in the middle of the week. I was like, I'm still not cramping. I'm not feeling anything. I guess if I don't start by the time we get home, I'll go ahead and I'll take a test.
As you're having the time of your life on this cruise.
Poor Lakey. I drank so many, what are those things called? Martinis. Apple teenies, dirty martinis. I was vaping on that cruise. Oh my gosh. And it was an Alaskan cruise, and we got in hot tubs. She was cooking in there. And
she was doing her best.
Yeah, she was surviving. And so I told her that again, not trying to the point where I was not even freaking myself out because I didn't even think it wasn't
even like in your thoughts.
Yeah. And then backtrack, I also got off birth control
a month before.
Yeah, like 2 months before. I wanted to try that Natural Cycles app. If any of y'all want to do that, go ahead and do your thing, but you just have to follow the rules. I don't want to get into the app because it didn't work for me, but follow the rules.
Not that it doesn't work for others. It just did not work for you.
Yes, I was not following the rules that was portrayed to me on the app because I guess I just don't know how science works and I'm a freaking nurse. But, so was using that, checking my temperature, checking like for possible ovulation. So again, was supposed to start my period. We got back, and my date was October 1st. We got picked up from the airport by my mom and my cousin Holly. And we were super hungry because we had just flown all morning. And we stopped and got Whataburger, and then they dropped us off. We unloaded our stuff. And then we were both about to start eating, and I said, oh, let me go ahead and go, again, so nonchalantly. Like, I didn't even tell Logan I was taking a test because it was just in my mind.
Yeah.
I pee on the stick. I got these little, it was like a 50 count off Amazon. It had like 25 pregnancy tests and then like 50 ovulation strips because it was just cheap. But I had those. I don't even know why. Probably because we've had scares before in the past.
Right.
But I went and I peed on that. I left it alone, and then I was eating. And then during our eating,
it's not funny, but it's just funny.
Yeah.
Because here we are.
During us eating, I had literally already finished my meal, and I said, oh, shit, I took a test. Like, let me go see what it is. I was not waiting around.
Like anticipating it or 100%, anything.
I think it was probably sitting there for like 30 minutes. Yeah. Logan's on the couch watching football. He was watching a Cowboys game, to be exact. And I go in, I look at the test, and that thing is as positive as they come.
As
like
dark as it can be.
There was no denying that there were 2 lines, and I still have it too. And I said, oh, I think I said like OMG or something like that. Yeah. And I said, Logan! And I screamed his name so loud, and he was so pissy because he was watching the football game, and he said,
gosh forbid.
He was like, what? And I was like, come here. And he was all pissy with me because he has to get off the couch. He has to stop what he's doing. And he looks, and he's like, what? And I said, look at this. And it was the test, and it was 2 lines. Obviously, it didn't say pregnant or anything. And he's like, what am I looking at?
Yes.
And
which as men, they don't. Yeah. Yeah, it could have been it. They don't know what they're looking at.
Why else would I be showing you unless it's significant?
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to show you a negative test. I probably would have thrown it away, if anything. And I was like, I'm pregnant. And then he said, no, you're not. And I was like, yes, I am, Logan. That's 2 dark lines. And then I remember he was like, I'm dizzy. I need to sit down. Like, it was so unexpected, not trying.
Not in your heads at all.
So then we didn't speak. Like, we were both kind of just shell-shocked. I think I took like 6 more that same day. And they were all dark as shit. Yeah. Like, coming back positive. And so finally because I'm the type of person where, again, if something were to have happened, if I were to have miscarried, I would tell people regardless. I'm not really a secretive person I'm a very much oversharer.
Yeah.
So if something were to happen, I would have talked about that too.
Right.
So I think I called my mom, and she was still in the car with Holly, and then I said, okay, if I tell you something, can y'all keep a secret? And they were like, yeah. They didn't know what I was about to do. So I showed them the test. And again, it doesn't look like a traditional pregnancy test. So they were like, do you have COVID?
It's one of those HCG.
Yes.
Yeah, one of those tests.
And it looks like the COVID test, I guess. And they were like, do you have COVID? And I said, no, I'm pregnant. And I remember they were just like, oh my gosh. And they were excited. And then
you called, that was a Sunday. You called me that next day on Monday because I was actually off work going to my wisdom teeth appointment that I was canceling because I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And you even showed me on FaceTime, and I kind of looked at them like, in my head, I was like, are these pregnancy tests? But they look weird.
I took like 5, I showed
so
you like
showed it
5
to me, and
6.
I was like, wait, what am I looking at? And you were like, I'm pregnant. And I was so unbelievably ecstatic. I had to hide my excitement just because I knew, because we are such close friends, I knew this wasn't her time frame. And I had to dial back my excitement of, oh my gosh. When I found out I was pregnant, I was sad because I knew that none of my friends were going to be pregnant.
Oh, yeah.
Including, or not even including, mainly meaning you, because you are my closest friend. And so when I saw that positive test, I was like, hell yeah, we're doing this together.
I think she was like, are you okay? Yeah. I'm so excited. Let me know if you need anything. She hung up, and then she was like, hell yeah.
Yeah. After we got off the phone, I was like, oh yeah, can't wait. So excited. Immediately called Jarrett because I knew Logan had told Jarrett. And no, actually, Jarrett texted me and he was like, wait till you talk to Haylee. And I was like, she already told me. I just got off the phone with her. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
But definitely had to dial it back just because, I mean, that's your story.
I think I was like so shell shocked. Yeah. Probably for the first couple months. Probably for the first half of the pregnancy, honestly.
Yeah, I'd say we had different.
I don't think I told you, but actually that day that I found out, like, I don't know why, but I thought when I told you, like, it was real. Like, I know the pregnancy was real, and if y'all think I sound bad during this episode, whatever, but I knew when I told you it was, like, for real. So that day, I called my mom, and then
I don't even think we talked that Sunday.
No, we didn't.
Not to the extent we normally do.
But I went over to Christian's house, one of my closest friend, Christian. I know, I didn't tell you. But I was so, when I tell y'all I can't function. Yeah. And I could not function. Yeah. I texted her, I think, and I was like, we need to go on a walk. And she said, huh? And I was like, okay, I'm coming over. And we walked and I told her. And I literally, but I knew when I told you it was like for real. And I didn't want to, because you had just found out. And we were close, but like.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yes, no, I agree.
Yes. And so I told her, and then the next
feel like
day I called you.
You definitely knew, like, the level of excitement I was going to have.
Yes.
And I really don't think you needed that.
Like, I Christian was very much like
I wasn't the friend you needed in that moment, 100%. Yeah. I remember when I called my aunt and told her, and she was before she reacted, she just asked me, like, are we happy about this? Because she was prepared to give me either reaction, which I thought was just so sweet because you need it. Like, yes, we're married, we're buying a house, like all this fun stuff.
Goodness.
Right. Yeah. Like I'm in a good place in life. Doesn't mean that I wanted I did want to be pregnant. So it was exciting for me. You had a different timeline in mind.
Yeah. So we definitely wanted kids. We probably not. We were thinking like maybe 2 or 3 years. Yeah. But no, it was definitely a surprise. But it was the best surprise because now we have our babies.
I wonder which episode one will shed a tear, because I can definitely cry talking about just finding out being pregnant just because he's my world. So, oh my God, change the topic. My eyes are going to water.
But yeah, but you were definitely, when I called you, you weren't.
Yeah,
you weren't. You were
I didn't
like,
want to.
Oh, how are you? And I definitely was like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think you did. You were like, I don't know how I feel, which is totally okay. And I think is another just great part of this podcast is the fact that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to be so excited. It's okay to be so not excited, because it's an insane feeling knowing that, okay, I'm pregnant. Like my life's changing completely.
Yeah. And even then, when we knew we were pregnant, we knew like this would change our lives. But I don't even think I knew until she popped out of me.
Yeah,
just how much everything was.
Everyone can tell you how much it's going to change. I feel like you hear the same stuff all the time from people who have kids, and then you just have to do it. You have to do it to fully understand it.
Yeah,
but pregnancy,
pregnancy itself was great.
Yeah, I honestly feel like we both had really healthy pregnancies. There was no morning sickness. I had like this weird pelvic pain from like 6 months on, but overall, I mean, super healthy pregnancy. Couldn't have asked for a better one. I enjoyed being pregnant too, except for towards the end, of course, because you're so uncomfortable. Yes. But I just think about how uncomfortable I was and how it could have been worse. So it doesn't make me scared to get pregnant again, because I'm like, I survived.
And then that's where it comes into play too. Like, everyone is valid because, again, we are acknowledging the fact that we had great pregnancies.
Yes.
But yeah, we definitely complained to each other every
Mhm.
single day. I remember neither of us got sick. One of our like first main pregnancy symptoms was like we were both constipated.
Okay, I was like, where is she going with this?
We could not shit.
I cried. I
Yeah.
would cry because I was so constipated. I was taking Colace like it was a
Yes.
freaking vitamin.
Yes.
That every morning that was going down my throat because I was so freaking constipated. It was terrible.
And then they tell you, like, you know, when you're pregnant, whatever medicine you take, the baby's taking. So then there's a whole questionnaire.
Because
Like,
you got
before
sick. You did get sick, actually.
I got sick.
You got like
Oh, I got like a cold.
like a cold, yeah, and you just miserable. You were miserable because you can't take anything.
No, you could take Tylenol.
Yeah.
That's
Thanks.
it. Yeah. And Colace. You can take Colace.
Colace, yeah. And you can take allergy pills, thank God. Oh, and acid
you
reflux. Not acid reflux. No, I think it was acid reflux. Mine was really bad.
You're omeprazole?
I don't know. I just took a pill to help
famotidine
with my little burning going on.
GERD.
Every time I ate and laid down, miserable.
But I don't feel like that started off the bat. I feel
No,
like
that was when he got big.
Yes.
When he got big,
Yeah.
which he wasn't even a big baby. I just think he was sitting up really high.
Mhm.
I remember every time I would go in, she'd push on the top of my stomach, and she was like, "Oh, he's still high."
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, I'm aware. I feel him right here." Gosh, he would not drop to save his life. He did not want to come out.
But we were both constipated, and
So
then
constipated.
we both had like pelvic. We both were active in our pregnancies.
Very
I
active.
ran up until I was 30 weeks pregnant,
Mhm.
and then I think you.
I worked out
Yeah.
well, besides that like small scare, I would just walk
Mhm.
in the beginning, and then I worked out the rest of my pregnancy. And we both also religiously saw the chiropractor.
Once a week.
Once a week we were going to the chiropractor. She's amazing. She's actually not far from us, like 15 minutes. And we would go every
Mhm.
week.
We had like very pelvic pressure, and then it's called round ligament pain. And what's funny
yeah.
is one of my friends at work, she's pregnant, and she said, "Yeah, I got scared because I'm like cramping around here."
Mhm.
And I said, "No, that's your round ligament because that hoe hurts."
Yes. And then every time she'd push on it, it's almost like you're sore, and so you push on the muscle to get it out, and it's like a hurt good
That
type
was
thing.
such an uncomfortable feeling.
Every
though.
time she would push on my round ligaments, I was like, "Oh my gosh, like it hurts so good."
Yes.
I needed it to be rubbed out, but it was not comfortable.
And what's funny is I press on my belly now, and I'm like, "Where are those things?"
They're gone. Yeah, even when I would go to the chiropractor, she would tell me how high he was. And I was like,
yeah.
I know, he does not want to move down. Oh, and it was the only time we got to lay on our stomachs because she has the pillow with the hole in it. So we would get to lay on our
yes.
bellies while our little babies sat in the pillow hole.
Yes. I'm surprised I never invested in one of those. But now that I didn't get to sleep on my belly for 9 plus months, now I never sleep on my belly.
I remember like pregnancy anxiety. When I found out I was pregnant, I was so scared to sleep on my stomach, even though he's the smallest thing in the world right at that moment when you first find out. Nope. I was scared.
But I honestly feel like in whatever, there might be some research out there that we haven't looked into, but I feel like the whole no sleeping on your stomach is more so the comfort, because it's not comfortable. I don't even think you'd want to. When they got big.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah, like 3-4 months I think I was, but then after, once you get like a bump, you can't.
Yeah. And then I used to always have to sleep with a pillow between my legs because my pelvic pain was so bad. I would try to like swing my legs to get out of bed, and I would just cry because it hurt. And my sciatic nerve got really bad towards the end, but I think that was just overuse because I was still like lifting weights working out. So I think that's why he came out so quick. Just 1, 2 out.
He slid out. But I was doing like this Couch to 5K app. I obviously was not training for a 5K, but it was more so just the
You're a runner
routine of it, and it told you what to do.
Mhm.
So I think that's probably why my round ligament was so tight all the time. And I also am a
12-hour
nurse.
shifts,
and I
on your
work 12
feet.
hours on my feet. So I definitely
I have a desk job.
those. I definitely got those belly bands to hold that thing up.
No, every time I went to the chiropractor, she would adjust my sacrum, And I was like, yeah, I have a desk job. I sit all day because I'm not standing in these. I wore heels to work all the way up until I stopped physically going into the office. I wore heels, and everyone was like, quit wearing heels, you're pregnant. And I was like, well, I'm not buying new shoes. So,
yeah.
But yeah, really good pregnancies. Couldn't have been better, honestly. You had Lakin a little early. I went over by 2 days, and I think that's like the toughest thing mentally was knowing that it's my due date and I'm still pregnant.
Yeah.
I cried. I literally cried because I cried. I mean, you already cry at everything when you're pregnant because your hormones are crazy. But when you're 40
when
weeks,
you're
huge. Nothing fit me anymore. I was just, it's May.
It's May, so we're
Texas.
Freaking hot.
I'm burning up 24/7. And I started having contractions. I think the day before my due date. And so my husband and I, we put our shoes on, we tried to walk this baby out, contractions stopped. I was like, oh, so I just made them stop. Cried, got home and cried because I just wanted to get this baby out so badly, and then ended up having him 2 days later. Thank God.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. Like I was just done.
And I think both of ours we're going to save like the whole birth stories
will
for
be
the next
episode.
But both of our plans, if you will, like we didn't want to get induced. We did want to like have labor start naturally, but we didn't want to go over.
No. Like, I did not want to be 41 weeks.
Yeah, which my doctor said she wasn't going to allow me to get 41 weeks, and that's, I think, a doctor preference thing. But you had your induction scheduled.
Yes, I did. It was, if I didn't have him, I would have been 40 weeks and 4 days.
Yeah.
I had it on the 4th day. I told her, because she told me that I think I was 37 or 38 weeks, and she was like, we can set your induction up for next week. So therefore I would have been 39 weeks. And I told her to let me hit my due date. If I don't, then we can schedule it. So we scheduled it 4 days out.
You probably scheduled it at your 40-week appointment. You know what I mean?
I think it was my 36.
You mean your 39 weeks?
Yes, 30. You know, listen, time is,
I know what you mean.
Yes.
So
I
39 weeks. Because at the end, you start going to the doctor once a week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we did that, and I honestly, it probably would have been sooner, but it was Memorial Day, that Monday. And so she was going to be out of town. So she was like, okay, let's do Wednesday. And then I had him on a Monday.
Yeah. You had him on Memorial Day. I don't know if you felt like this, but when I was telling people, I wasn't embarrassed. I don't want this to sound so bad.
It's the same way Jared acted like he was
weird.
Yeah, Jared acted like he was a 16-year-old boy telling his mom.
I literally felt like I was a teen mom.
And his mom had to tell him like, "Hey, I think he was 26, I think. You're 26, you're married, y'all are buying your house. Like you're not a child. It's okay."
And I was that y'all are having a baby.
Yeah, I definitely didn't want to feel like, which it doesn't matter what other people think. That's my biggest issue that I'm working through. I didn't want people to be like, she's so young, because I was 24 when I found out. No, I think I was 23. I don't know, some type of age. I think I was 24, and I knew I would be having him before I even turned 25, so I was young. But I also am that person who grew up knowing what they wanted, which is to be a wife, to be a mom. So for me, I always knew young mom would be in my cards.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. And then I already told my mom, and then she told my stepdad, but then she wanted me to tell him, but like have him act surprised. So stupid. She can't keep her mouth shut. But so I had told my parents, and then I remember we waited to tell Logan's parents, I think it was like right after we got the first like sonogram picture of when they actually like give you your due date, your accurate due date. So that was fun. We like went over there, and he had the picture in his pocket, and he was like, well, we got something to tell y'all. And he pulls out the picture. So that was cute. And then I just bit my tongue. She's the first great grandbaby on each side. So I knew it meant a little bit more to like my grandparents and his mean-all. So I wanted to be 100% before we did. Yeah, so we waited a little bit longer to tell them. I think I was the 9 weeks, whenever we first heard the heartbeat, that's when we
Mhm.
decided to go
Which is
over.
such a surreal feeling too. My
Yeah.
husband's not a crier,
Oh, he cried?
and he can get mad, but he didn't cry. He just we had the scare too that we
Oh,
thought
yeah.
I might be miscarrying. And my appointment for the heartbeat was a week later, and so when we went in and we heard that heartbeat, it was just such a sigh of relief.
And it was such a long week.
It was the longest wait
Yeah.
of my life trying to hear this heartbeat. And so when we saw the little teeny tiny little bean on there and the little thumping of the
Crazy.
heartbeat, he definitely shed a tear. I cried because
Aw. You're a crier.
I'm such a crier, and I just love my son so
Yeah.
much. So that was sweet. That was
Yeah.
really sweet. It's watching him just because he's not an emotional person.
Yeah.
And it just made me know that he is attached to this pregnancy when it is so young still.
Well, and I feel like Logan, we heard the heartbeat and we were both kind of like, OMG, because again, I think we were in shell shock for a good like 3-4 months.
Yeah. It's different when I feel like I knew it was always a possibility.
Yeah.
So it's always in my head. Like I was actively taking that pregnancy test
Yeah.
where you were like, surely not, but like let's just rule it out.
Let's just take
I had a
this
fun
pregnancy
week, so let's just make sure.
Boom. Pregnant.
It's just the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Now, especially now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Once you wrapped your head around the pregnancy, we had a
Yes.
grand old time.
Yes. And then so
We
told
made
the great
Haley made a
grandparents.
TikTok about our text in pregnancy, which TikTok might be banned, so we'll have to post it on. You need
Maybe
to go
we
save it.
we can repost it.
Yeah, no, you need to save it off
Yeah.
of TikTok
I do.
because there's no way our messages are still there from that.
Yeah, it is.
Well, not on mine. Mine automatically delete after a year because I have too much going.
Oh, yeah, no. I think mine are still there, but yes, I'll go and
We need to redo that.
That's cute.
Just the funniest.
Yeah. But that's how we found out we were pregnant, and we told each other, and thank God we had good pregnancies.
Mm-hmm.
So next episode we definitely want to get into it'll be all things birth.
Yep. How it started.
Yeah.
How it went. And I remember looking at pictures, just seeing my stomach grow, and mentally I was like, I know my body is creating this life. It's so awesome. Wow, look at me. And then I also was like, wow, my body is just being so ruined. The stretch marks, the weight gain. Oh,
Do you have stretch marks?
I have a little bit of little teeny tiny red ones right under my belly button.
Yeah, I have a lot. And I've
It's because
heard
you're darker than me. I'm pretty sure
I
the
don't
more
think so.
melanin you have.
I think it's genetics.
Oh,
Because
well,
does your
maybe.
mom have any?
Yeah.
Oh, she does.
Yeah, she
See,
did.
my
But my
mom
mom also
has-
had 4 kids.
My mom has stretch marks. My mom's sister doesn't have stretch marks, and my grandma doesn't have stretch marks. So my mom did it to me.
But I did. Well, maybe I'm thinking about the belly button thing then because I never got the belly button line.
The linea nigra.
Yeah, and I think that was based on if the darker
Dark.
your skin tone is, the more likely you are to get it.
'Cause I did get
so
that.
maybe it's not stretch marks, it's that because I'm very light complected for my skin tone.
Yeah.
So,
How much weight did you gain
bitch.
total?
I think I gained, it was 45 or 50. Whenever I saw, which this is me, just putting it out there. Whenever I got on that scale, because they love to weigh you every week. They love to weigh you at the doctor's office.
Yeah, they
And
don't do that.
That thing started with a 2. I said, okay, I'm done looking. I cannot look anymore.
Yeah.
When I got pregnant, I was 164.
Is it digital? I can't remember because we didn't go to the same office.
That's the only thing we do different. We
Is
have
yours-
different doctors.
Was yours digital? Or was yours the little...
No, mine was digital, yeah.
Mine was too. I don't like digital ones, though.
Every time I went in, you would not see me looking at that.
Because I weighed myself at home. I mean, not the whole pregnancy. Probably for like 6 months. I would weigh myself at home, and then I would compare. And I feel like they were off by a little. But I think, which I was an Ozempic girly before I got pregnant. I had been on Ozempic for like a year, and then I remember I had just stopped because I had just gotten married, and that'd be expensive. But I was 140 when I got pregnant, and then I gained, I think, like 50 pounds, 45 to 50 for sure, and it all packs on though at the end.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because I remember I was like, oh, I'm doing so good.
Same.
And then boom, like you hit 30 weeks.
Well, because you're going in once a month. So it was like 5 pounds for me almost.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so to me, I'm like, oh, 5 pounds is hard. But then you're going every week.
And it's like
and
5
it's still
pounds.
5 pounds. And I was like, wait a damn minute.
And then I remember we were talking to each other. I was like, well, he gained a pound in there. It's fine.
Jesus.
And I don't feel like neither of us had like really crazy cravings.
Nope.
I mean,
I really wanted bagels in the beginning of my pregnancy. That was it.
I liked McDonald's
I never had
McGriddles.
You did go get those before work, yeah, or on your day. I don't know, but yeah. I don't think I had anything crazy. Which I remember being asked all the time, "What are you craving?" I was like, "What do you mean? I just want to eat.
I just want to eat."
Yeah, I just want food.
But even then, like you want to eat, but you so
can't
full.
Because you got a big old baby in there and you can't eat. I'd get so mad because I would get full quotations. Full. I'm not full. I just know if I eat any more, I'm gonna be uncomfortable.
Yes, yeah. And we were so we got pregnant in like September. And so during Thanksgiving and Christmas, we were like 2-3 months pregnant.
Yeah. Me and Jarrett took a picture of my bump, and there's no bump.
That was your.
It took me. I feel like my baby hid for a while, so I don't think I was showing pregnant until like 26, 27 weeks.
Well, you just have a tall torso.
Yeah, I am taller than you.
You have a long torso, so I feel like he was in there. And I can't remember when my bump started to show. I have it written down in my baby book.
Well, then I look at pictures of where my bump really was showing. Lord, that bump was bumping.
But I still, because I was looking at my baby shower picture, and I still feel like your bump was long.
Yeah, he was definitely. Yes. Feet were all the way up into my boobs. Head was all the way down, ready to come out. So he was stretched out for sure. Even when Lakey came out, she was just a squished little. She liked to be compact, for sure.
But I still feel like she was high, and yours was like more low. Because they say, wives' tails.
Yes.
Low in beach ball is boy. And I don't feel like I looked like a beach ball. But you didn't look like a beach ball either, I feel like.
I don't know. Yeah. That's how we got pregnant. Well, that's not how we got pregnant, but
that's for health class.
That's another day. Ask your parents about that one.
Yeah. But tune in next week where we talk about giving birth.
All things labor.
Yeah. And find us on social media, Instagram, social. Hopefully TikTok does not get banned.
Give our cute little DIY pics a like.
Yeah.
We have cute little matching sweaters on in them. We're wearing them right now. We're giving cool mom.
Jarrett, we were taking pictures, and Jarrett said, all right, this has gone too far.
This has gone too far, because he saw her sweatshirt, and then I turned around and walked away, and he said, wait, are y'all wearing matching sweatshirts? All right, this has gone too far. But yeah,
thanks for listening. Bye.
Thanks for listening. We'll work on this outro thing. Yeah.